What's up? Good morning and welcome to episode 199. How crazy is that? 199. We are just one away from episode 200 tomorrow. I hope you can come in if you can between 8 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. We're going to have some fun, some special guests, some prizes, giveaways, all those fun things. If you can make it, awesome. If not, no worries. There'll obviously be a replay. And you know what? We're probably going to go for another 100 anyway. So you're not going to miss out on too much. But again, I hope you can show up. For those of you live with me right now, thank you so much for coming in. Today we're doing some website and YouTube channel critiques, which means I'm going to go in and give you my first impression on what I'm looking at, whether it's yours or somebody else's, doesn't matter. You can learn lots of stuff, and I'm super stoked because this is actually one of my favorite things to do because we never know what we're going to get, and we never know what one little tidbit could change everything for somebody. So I'm really excited about that too. I hope you're having a good morning. I have just noticed the coffee kicked in, and I have some fun things to share. Anyway, you're amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me all 199 episodes and the big 200s tomorrow. So let's talk more about websites and YouTube channels, what I'm looking for in just a moment. But for now, let's cue the intro.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Woo! All right. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna make sure the music's a little quieter. Because yesterday, I think it was a little bit too loud when I was going through this intro and the music was still playing. Anyway, big episode tomorrow. If you can't make it, again, I'm sorry. Postpreneur, I think anything cameras isn't able to make it, but it's all good. It's all good. Excited to chat. I am going live today also on Twitch with my kids later this afternoon, probably around 2 p.m. Pacific today, twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly. We do have some fun new designs coming. They aren't available on the channel yet, but we have some family designs that were done by a professional to pop in there and to make it, look even better. So I'm excited about that. And the big thing for today for the family is that in a couple hours, Kai, our little one, she's 8, she's gonna get her teeth pulled because she's getting some braces and stuff pretty soon. So, and we're making room for a rogue tooth that's sort of like coming out in the back of her lower jaw, and so we're gonna see what happens. It should be interesting to see 2 teeth pulled, and then they're gonna be able to move some stuff around. But that's the exciting stuff that's happening in the Flynn family today. What's exciting that's happening right now is we're gonna be talking about your websites and your YouTube channels, and we're gonna be watching some videos perhaps, or we're gonna be looking at some designs, and we're gonna make some constructive criticism. I just want you to know that whatever I say is based on my own opinion and 12 years of experience of doing online business. It's also not always something you should take, face value. It's up to you to make your own decisions on what you do. I'm just sharing stuff based on my own opinion. Let's also go over something that's really key here before I get into the specifics of what exactly I'm looking for. Caleb came into the office this week specifically to talk online courses. In fact, this is why the other day we did it sort of behind the scenes about online courses. Caleb was here for 2 days. He didn't sleep here, obviously, but he lives pretty close by. And we were filming a brand new course called A to Z Webinars. I took you behind the scenes, all this stuff. And what Caleb brought with him was something that I hadn't seen in a long time because I hadn't gone to the studio. The studio at WeWork in La Jolla, which is maybe 10 miles away from here, I haven't gone in a long time. That's just why all the equipment's here because of quarantine. And it's kind of empty right now. But he did go and stop over and he brought this. He brought the YouTube play button, which I hadn't seen in a while. And this is for passing 100,000 subscribers. So this is a really neat sort of icon for me because I want to tell you a quick story about this before we get started. Shonda says, constructive criticism. This is signifying 9 years of being on YouTube. 9 years to get to 100,000 subscribers. And honestly, most of the subscribers, about 50%, came within a year. So it took me about 8 years to get to 50,000 subscribers. I wasn't taking it seriously. I wasn't being consistent. I wasn't even studying YouTube. I just kind of put things here. And then all of a sudden, in 2018, got very serious about video. Caleb and I both said, hey, how can we grow this channel to over 100,000? Let's be purposeful. Let's have some goals here. And we went to a conference called Vid Summit. Something else happened at Vid Summit. We saw that many people were using the GorillaPod for their vlogging apparatus, and we decided to create another tool instead called the SwitchPod. So that was sort of the birth of the SwitchPod, and also the birth of really getting serious about the YouTube channel. So not only did we start to become more consistent with what we were popping up on here, and we started to learn more about what worked and what didn't. At Vid Summit, we specifically learned from people who were very successful, and we sat there in the 2-hour presentations and we started taking notes. We started just to go, okay, how can we, with what we have now, actually make things work? And within a year, based on a number of things, things that, in fact, we do talk about here on the show quite a bit, from better thumbnails to purposeful videos to watch time increasing to better engagement on videos, to the hooks at the beginning of videos, to more pattern interrupts to keep people on for longer. Watch time really is everything here on YouTube. And we started to notice the growth. And then we were able to get to 100,000. VidSummit and VidCon are not the same, Elton. This is a great question and something that I was confused about as well. VidCon is the event that happens in LA that has like 25,000 people, where these famous YouTubers come, and it's like people stand in line. It's like a convention, like a Comic-Con, but for YouTubers. And there's like 90% teenagers who are just there to find and meet their favorite YouTuber. That's VidCon. VidSummit is a little smaller, 1,000 people, but it's all content, it's all learning, it's all sharing and passing information. It's run by a friend of mine, Daryl Eves, and I definitely owe a lot of success on YouTube to Daryl and VidSummit, as well as the success for SwitchPod to VidSummit. So I'm very, very much tied to VidSummit and what they've done for me. So we're currently sitting at 264,000 subscribers. So I was able to get to 100,000 subscribers after 9 years. And then I was able to get to 200,000 1 year after that. So couple lessons here. In order to get growth on YouTube or your blog or your podcast or wherever, right? Number one, purposeful creation. Sometimes we see others who are on these platforms, right, and they're just pumping out great content. We're like, okay, now I know what I got to do. I just got to start posting. And posting is great. That's step one. And it's okay at the start, if you don't know what you're doing, to at least get your feet wet, to start writing, to start creating, to start recording, etc. But eventually you have to get to the point where you're going to need to purposefully learn what it is that does work with the kind of stuff that you're doing and what doesn't work. And this way, the time and energy that you do spend on something can be used purposefully, and then you can start to see what works and what doesn't. Honestly, it was just a little mindset shift related to the YouTube channel that really changed everything. I don't think I necessarily did anything revolutionary. It just simply was turning it on. And sometimes, I don't know if maybe you can see this in your own self, but sometimes we're doing stuff, but we haven't yet turned it on. We haven't really started focusing on it or being purposeful behind it. So that's sort of lesson number one, right? Stephanie says, I was checking out Pretty Links Pro pricing last night, and a testimony from Pat was featured prominently on that page. Hey, I know that, guys. Thanks, Stephanie. Can definitely vouch for Pretty Links, for sure. Amazing, says Dawn. Dawn, you are amazing. Thank you so much for your gift, your digital gift that I saw the other day. Consulta Blank Eye says, yeah, I did the VidCon and I won't do it again. Same. Complete waste of time. I'll be looking into VidSummit for sure. Yeah, VidSummit way better for creators. VidCon, there are moments that are good, and there is a creator space within VidCon, but it's just way too overwhelming, at least especially if you are an introvert. But you might find some cool people there and also hear from your favorite YouTubers, and that's kind of cool, right? So learn exactly. Oh, hagwood mushrooms, hagwood. Nice, hagwood mushrooms. Do you grow mushrooms? That's pretty dope. Do you have like a cave? Save Like a Bear says, Sunny Lenarduzzi says, consistency is not always the key to your success because there are too many people uploading regularly for the sake of it without going deep. I think consistency isn't just consistently publishing. It's consistently getting better at your craft. It's consistently learning more about what your audience is. I think the consistency is more on just your consistent focus on a thing, not necessarily, okay, I have to publish 7 days a week, right? So does that make sense in terms of consistency? Thanks for bringing that up. All right, so just a little lesson. I saw this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this because this was definitely something that was earned after I started learning how to focus, and I hope that you can get that growth too. The other thing I'll say about this is like 100,000 subs. That's a cool number. But you know what else is a cool number? 1,000 or 100. Because every single person who is a subscriber of yours or a reader on your blog or a viewer of your YouTube videos or a listener of your show, that's a human being, right? So even 100 people, imagine 100 people in a room. Marcus Brownlee, MKBHD, another famous YouTuber here, he is the #1 tech reviewer and has about 14 million subscribers at this point, I believe. And I interviewed him, and he said his first 100 videos were for his first 100 subscribers. And when I heard that, it was so eye-opening to me because I thought, you kind of have to be born to be great. And you hear about these success stories, but you don't really you get the underlying story. So I just wanted to share my story with the quote-unquote overnight success that I've had here. Definitely was not overnight success, for sure. Sandy McKenzie, Lumber Mill, welcome to Team Flynn Platinum. Thank you so much. Destiny also shared a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat earlier, my friend. I saw it. I appreciate you for that. Mubarak, hey, Pat and chat. Good to see you. Martin says, I wish Spotify would do plaques for sub counts. That would be pretty amazing. Very cool. Welcome, Sandy. You're awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to be looking for, and then we'll take some volunteers to be the next victim. Case study for what it is that we will be doing here today, which is reviewing websites and YouTube channels. So I'm going to be looking for a couple things, no matter where it is, whether it's a YouTube channel, a blog, or even a podcast. Maybe we can review some of your podcast-related stuff. It could be anything, really. Sales pages, whatever. I'm going to be looking for, initially, how in the first 10, 15 seconds are you portraying what it is that this thing is, and who is it for? That's ultimately the most important thing, because if a person lands on your page, you could have the best information down the fold, underneath the website, within it, after people click, but unless you can capture a person's attention and have them stop surfing and start, I'm looking for a rhyming word there, stop surfing, start turfing. I don't know, sometimes these come and sometimes they don't. But you want them to stop surfing and start exploring the page and getting interested and excited about it. Ooh, Peasant Uprising is here for the challenge today. That's cool. I see you. I see you, Peasant. So literally the name of your channel, right? And I know you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, but you're now ready to enter the gauntlet. Just kidding. Start smurfing. Is smurf a good word? I don't even know what smurf means. All I know is it's a little blue creature that lives in the woods. Gargamel? That's a name that comes to mind. Papa Smurf. Gargamel. Dude, bring back these memories. Start serving, Gabriella. Duh. But then you want, but you're the one serving. They're not. Anyway. Yes, name my channel. Okay, cool. All right. So that's the first thing I'm looking for. We want them to start surfing so you could start serving. There you go. Cool, I like that. Thanks, Gabrielle. Next, we need to have them connect to you. How, amongst the entire sea, that remember, they're surfing in this sea, how are they going to go, ooh, this is the one I've been looking for? How is this person different than others who are sharing the same information? How can I connect to this person? So there's a few things in and around this. The language that you use is really important. If you're not speaking the same language as your target audience, you could have the best solutions in the world. It's not going to work out. Okay? It's just not going to work out. Number two, if you use images, great. Use images to connect with your audience. That's personally, I feel that's what the best thing images are used for. Quick connections, because as we all know, a picture says 1,000 words, but they might not be saying the right words either. So I'm going to be looking at images and wondering, okay, is this necessary? Does this best reflect what we're talking about here? Remember, we were doing a website review a while back, and it was like very clear what the person was saying, who the website was for, their title, their tagline, all the things. And then the picture was like something random. It was like like just the forest, I think. But it was like a photography website or something, but it was like the forest. And I'm like, you're almost making me feel like I'm going to get lost here, right? Lost in the woods. And I don't want to be lost in the woods. I want to see like an array of photography or just very unique angles or something dynamic that's maybe a little bit different, right? Cool. Pattern interrupt. Drink your favorite beverage. Do you mean, are you guys playing a game or something? Like every time I do a pattern interrupt? Ha! Got you. I'm going to be doing that a lot tomorrow, by the way. I forgot I had that. Even though I have a new computer here, I set that up because that's so key. All right. Next, I'm also going to be looking for distractions, things that are like, I don't know if this is really important or needs to be there, whether it's design related, maybe pop-ups, or sometimes on YouTube videos, we have the splash intro in the beginning and it's like 40 seconds long. And I'm like, okay, I didn't come here to watch a 40-second intro. I came here for the content. Intros are okay. How does it integrate with the video? How are you maybe hooking me in the beginning before you get into the intro? All that sort of stuff. Good to see you, Common Sense Philosophy. You have common sense being here. Just kidding. Whoa, I almost had like something come out of my nose when I did that. Okay. And then finally, just overall critiquing. It's going to come from my heart. It's going to come from a place of service. Just keep that in mind. So let's actually dive in. I'm going to stop talking now. Well, I'm going to continue talking, or else it would be weird if we just like looked at websites the whole time and did nothing. But actually, we're going to start with a YouTube channel. So I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to look up Peasant Uprising and his YouTube channel. So I'm going to go to YouTube channel. All right. Let's follow along. Peasant Uprising, 72 subscribers.
Welcome to the channel where we rise up together for positive change. This is Peasant Uprising, where I share my life experiences and the things that I've done to help me get out of a rough upbringing and really start to make the life that I want and deserve. I want you to come along with me and discover how you can do it as well. Please leave comments below, talk to the community, and let's help each other rise up.
Cool. So welcome video. I always love seeing welcome videos. Let me pop up my video down here below too so you can see. So welcome videos are great. I was a little bit worried when I started listening, Peasant, because it was very much like, hey, follow me. I'm like my journey, my this. But then you tied it back in, and I think the video is short enough where it can work out. Typically, or sometimes we see these 2-3 minute intro videos, and it's literally, I am this, here are my credentials, here's what I've done. And it's like, okay, well, what's in this for me? And you got to the point, hey, come together with me so we can rise up together. And I really like that. I think that's something that should be said, like literally in every video, all that sort of stuff. Helping you rise up and succeed from your rough upbringing. Bi-weekly videos. Connect with me here. Cool. So this is very clear. Hey, if you've had a rough upbringing, this is the place to come. I think that what could be seen here or shown in this welcome video that could really connect. I mean, this is a very serious thing, right? People who have had rough upbringings and the emotions that come with that. Emotion needs to be a part of your channel in one way, shape, or form in the stories that you tell. I think that there might be room in the welcome video for you to dive even more a little bit into the story, even after that beginning, right? Maybe there's a second part that goes, instead of, hey, subscribe to the channel, come watch the rest of the videos, communicate with the community. Thanks for being here. You could go into it, and if you want, you could go into your story a little bit. You could say, and now let me tell you a bit about who I am, and show you how we're very alike, right? Just get into it. Like, hey, you and me, we're the same. We're the same because we've had rough upbringings. And if you've had rough upbringings, you know that right now there's oftentimes moments where those rough upbringings play a role in your decisions, in how you feel, in who you're with, and more. And if you're somebody who wants to make sure that you live your life to the fullest, despite having had a rough upbringing, then you're in the right place, because that's what I want too. So you and I, we're going to be on this journey together, this community. We can support each other. And so if you're ready, let me tell you a little bit more about who I am and where I came from. So that's how I would position the welcome video a little bit more, because it started, like I said, if you are going to indeed film this, right, you could redo the storytelling part of it and also the intro and the connection to the person. It took like 20 seconds to get to me versus starting with you, which is what you're doing. Again, not bad. It works. People have watched this, obviously, but hopefully this, like everything, like what Sue here is saying. Yes, I like the idea of a heart-to-heart combo with your viewer. So this is the approach that I would take with every video that you have. I would just consider the person on the other end who has had a rough upbringing like you and just speak to them one-on-one. Because where there's one, there's many, right? And that's the kind of framework that you're going to have. I know you might be going, oh, I have to do this in this video or have to do these techniques and that's cool too. But I think if you start with the connection and the how this is relevant to them, then you'll have more freedom to have more time with them, if that makes sense. But I love it. Okay. The artwork says all the right things, helping you rise up and succeed from your rough upbringing. I see the green on the good parts, the red on the bad parts. That's totally cool. Join me might not be necessary. I think you might be able to do a welcome. Hey, my name is... And then also, I'm just curious, the peasant part of it. I think that in many cases, even when I spoke about this with... I mentioned your name once, and my son was like, peasant, is he a peasant? Like, isn't that somebody who, and he kind of started going into like medieval time type peasant type stuff. And so I'm just curious to know a little bit more about the word peasant and where that comes from and how that plays a role. I think that if you don't answer that question somewhere or have that in your brand in some way, shape, or form, it could provide a little confusion, if that makes sense. Maybe the word peasant comes from how perhaps we feel sometimes, and maybe we want to rise up beyond that. But I think having your name in here, if possible, or maybe even a pseudonym. I know a lot of people who online, they don't want to put their real name, but they put a different name. There's a guy who's literally started a YouTube channel 3 weeks ago, Stock Mo. I think his name is Mo, but he calls him Stock Mo. And Stock Mo is the name of his channel, and everybody in his comments are just, hey, what's up, Stock Mo? And he talks about stocks and, Tesla and NEO and all these other things that are coming about now in the stock market and financials and whatnot. But anyway, cool. So I was going to say that you have all the right things here in the artwork, image. I'd like to see your name or something like that, if possible. But the artwork itself, the quality of it seems a little MySpace-ish, just to let you know. It has the sort of stars background, which is sort of irrelevant. It almost seems like it's just a boilerplate background. The text with the shadow underneath it, the text seems to be squished a little bit, and even the spacing between these two lines and these two lines are not quite the same. So it does have this feel of a little bit older, a little bit 1999 to early 2000s MySpace. So I think this could potentially be upgraded a little bit more, but it seems to be a work in progress. So again, you've nailed the hard part. Now we can design what you have on there and make it great to support the channel. Cool. I love how you are staying consistent with your videos, which is good. The thumbnails are decent. In fact, I like that I can read the text even at a small font. See, motivation for change. You have the playlists here, which is great. I would have more playlists if possible. The more playlists, the better, right? So I think you only have a few. Oh, actually, you have more. And even if there's one video on them, that's okay. I would pop more into the homepage here. So you have uploads, motivation for change, and then popular uploads, and that's it. On your most popular videos, I would actually update the thumbnails even more. As you can see with this one here, break the silence. If you have text in the lower right-hand corner, it's going to be blocked by the time, so just know that. And then making the colors pop a little bit more, similar to kind of what you're doing here. These are very clear, very easy to read. You have your own style with them. That's fine. With your popular videos, you can get them even more popular because YouTube's already sharing them with people. You're getting more impressions than your other videos. You can upgrade them even more. This thumbnail is really good. I like this one for sure. So let's find one of your most recent videos and let's watch the beginning. In fact, this came out a day ago. And let's talk about the hook. I hope that within the first 20 seconds, 10 seconds, you're helping me understand why I need to stop scrolling and surfing and start being served by you.
Are you introverted? Is it a struggle for you to overcome situations or to rise up from that rough upbringing because of your introvertedness? I myself am an introvert. I know it seems at times a struggle, but there is a way. And there are benefits to being an introvert.
Okay, so quick comments. Number one, you started talking to me right away, which I absolutely am very thankful for. The only other thing that we could include is a story about that, right? Are you introverted? And then something to support a person to go, oh yeah, that's an example of me being introverted, right? So you shared, hey, are you an introvert? And it's a struggle. I'm an introvert too. That's 80% of the way there. That's way better than many other channels that I see that even have thousands of subscribers. So keep starting your videos in that way. But the one thing I will say is, how can you connect one step further? So you might be able to start, hey, are you introverted? Do you ever walk into a room and just kind of sit there and everybody else is talking and you are just talking to yourself because you're too afraid? Well, guess what? I'm the same way too. So you see how I brought just a scenario in there? That's how we could take the connection one step further, right? So this is something that I'm still trying to get better at, is to provide a relevant story that can have a person go, oh yeah, that is me, right? Versus the label, we want the experience, right? That's going to be a connection, if that makes sense. So, and thank you, chat, for also helping Peasant Uprising here. A lot of great feedback I'm seeing, which is great. But yes, that one little scenario, even just like, hey, are you an introvert? Are you somebody who, and you see this in infomercials, right? It's the same thing. We're selling the fact that, oh, they can relate. Are you somebody who struggles with knives? Do you feel like your knives are dull like this? Well, introducing blah, right? This is kind of the same thing. Instead of, hey, are your knives dull? Well, check out this, right? You're showing examples now. So anyway, I'm taking your great intro and taking it one step further. Your lighting composition looks pretty good. It's a little bit bright over here in the background, but I kind of like the sort of lights in between the LED panels. That's pretty unique, so I would keep that. And I think the framing is okay. You know, this is a very personal type video, and so you want to kind of be up close, right? So, you know, it's the difference between like especially if you start going into the, so let me do like this scene with a wider angle, and then I'll go to the other angle to kind of show you, hey, are you an introvert? You know, I am too. If you're like me, when you walk into a room, you kind of just want to be in the corner and sit by yourself, even though everybody else is talking. And even though you would like to go and talk, there's something inside of you that is a little bit nervous and you're a little bit afraid. Maybe you're afraid because you're worried about what other people are going to think of you, or maybe you just don't even know what to say. Well, make sure you stick around and watch this video, because guess what? You are an introvert and you can still make it happen, right? Versus like, all right, so are you an introvert? If you are, you're just like me, because when we walk into a room, you kind of just want to sit there. You don't really want to talk to anybody. And it's hard because everybody else is talking, they're having a good time, and you're sitting there with your drink and you just don't understand why you can't muster up the courage to get up and start talking to people. Maybe it's because you're afraid. Maybe it's because you're worried about what people are going to say about you. Well, it doesn't matter, because in this video, I want to share with you 3 tips to help you learn how to, even though you're an introvert, how to have conversations with people, even people who you've never met before. And I'll tell you, I've used these strategies too, and it's opened up my world. I've met some amazing people. Some of my best friends are now a result of these 3 strategies that I'm about to share with you. So again, I created, in this case, an open loop, right? An open loop to have you go 3 strategies really quick. Like, people love numbers and, oh, you can tell me 3 things and now I'm going to be transformed. Okay. So anyway, just some thoughts there. I think that you also added some B-roll. So let's play this again one more time.
Are you introverted? Is it a struggle for you to overcome?
So I love the idea that you're using B-roll. I've mentioned that before. Now let's take it one step further. Notice how quick Notice how quick the B-roll comes in and comes out.
Are you introverted? Is it a struggle for you to overcome situations or to rise up from that rough upbringing?
So that is very, very quick, right? That's very, very quick. So let me show you a secret. I'm actually going to go to Screenflow and do this live with you because this is a really powerful strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a Screenflow. I'm going to bring in some B-roll or an image. Let's do. Actually, I have some images already that I can use. So let's do an intro, right? Let's legit do the same intro. If that would it be. Sound is off a bit. Is it delayed? Samson? It might be. Or is the sound off in the video? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. Okay, sorry. Is it cool if I just kind of demonstrate this really quick? Trying to keep the question part of me talking on camera, but I see how it doesn't work. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me just demo this really quick. So I'm going to go into, I'm going to find a stock image that I have. Let's just find one on my computer really quick. Let's see, what is this photo? No, not that photo. Same buzz when you speak like the past 2 days. Okay. Yeah, it must be the new computer setting. I thought I had a noise gate on here. Let's see. Okay, how about now? Does that change anything? Can you keep playing it? What is rough upbringing is going to tell us? Okay, well, let me demonstrate how to properly do a B-roll in a video first, and I'll show you a quick and easy way to make it happen, right? So I'm here in Screenflow, and again, chat, let me know if that changed anything. It's more of a fuzz on my end. Huh, that's strange. You can still hear me though, right? I'll see if I can adjust it before tomorrow. Worse, okay. How about now? That is louder. Okay, so I put the noise gate back on, but now I turned off another thing that's in the Rodecaster, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, so it's much louder. Man. All right, I'll have to get on the Caleb because I think we adjusted some stuff specifically for the coursework that we were doing, and then I'm oh, now it's all good? Better. Okay. I turned something off called the Aural Exciter. A-U-R-A-L. That kind of oral. Aural? Exciter. Okay. Better now. Okay. So I'm here in Screenflow now, and a quick and easy way to do the B-roll is right. Actually, it would be helpful if I recorded something sort of to start. So let me record just a quick little beginning component here. So I'm going to configure recording. I just want the record from, I want to record from this camera. Okay. I don't even need the desktop. Okay, so let's record this intro really quick. Hey, it's Pat Flynn here, and if you're excited about episode 200, I know exactly how you feel, because it's been 200 days straight that we've been going live here on YouTube, and I couldn't be more excited. This is just random, right? So I'm going to add this here. I'm going to pop this over here. So let's play that. Okay, I took the sound out, but here's how I would add B-roll. So I would actually put the B-roll on top of, so as you can see here, if I don't do anything right now, it's just gonna be like this. I'm talking, and that picture comes up, right? and then the picture goes away. So that's, oh, I'm covering it. Sorry. Only when you're talking. When it's quiet, you're not talking. Does a Screenflow cost money per month? It's a one-time thing. So playing, B-roll pops in, I'm still talking, and then it comes out. So an interesting and fun way to do B-roll would be to do this. So I'm gonna, and then you can do this in any program. This is just how I do it in Screenflow. I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna put an action to it, and I'm gonna make the action go the entire length, like this. So now nothing's happening, but what the action does, it allows me to, if I'm gonna scale up just maybe to a little bit more, and center this. So now watch the B-roll now. So a slow zoom could work really well, but you have to have it there for a few seconds. Peasant, it was really quick when you did it, but yeah, I think I also know why there's fuzz. It's probably because I brought the mic closer, and B-roll you can still add Elton on Windows programs. The other way to go about it would be, let me undo that. Okay, the other way to go about it would be to have it, I'm going to scale this whole thing up a little bit more, like this. And I'm going to start on this side, and then on the other side of this, actually, wait, hold on. Let me scale this up. Okay, now I'm going to add an action. I'm going to make it go the whole way. Come on, pull. There we go. And then I'm just going to move it over just a tad, like that. Right, so now it'll go this way. Just a little bit of movement goes a long way. Okay, and the other thing you could add would be an ending and starting transition. So now it'll fade in. Probably too long of a fade. I would go maybe half a second on each side. Okay, final product. Again, sorry, this is just, I get nerded out when I get into these things. There you go. So that's how we can create some really easy sort of B-roll effects and use the B-roll, because if you don't do it like that, if you maybe make it a little bit more quick, sort of like yours here.
Are you introverted? Is it a struggle for you to overcome situations or to rise up from that rough upbringing because of your introvertedness? I myself am an introvert. I know it seems at times a struggle, but there is a way, and there are benefits to being an introvert. So let's discuss this and more coming up. If you're new here, this is Peasant Uprising, where I help you overcome that rough upbringing and achieve success. Subscribe.
I like your personality. It comes out. I love it. So yeah, about 3 or 4 seconds for the B-roll. I love the intro. I love how you're hooking me in. It's easy to connect with you. Somebody was asking a little bit about if you're an iMovie, the way to make that sort of effect happen would be a Ken Burns. And that is how we can sort of scroll across the videos or zoom in a little bit. And so, or photos, you don't even need an actual video. And in fact, videos are way more expensive than images. And still you can get that movement, that nice pattern interrupt inside of your videos by using an image and sort of zooming in just slowly. That can work really well too. Another trick, since we're here, I'm actually going to remove this B-roll and show you another cool thing that could work. So one thing I love to do, again, you can do this with a video as well, but I'm going to make an action here, and I'm going to have it be quite a long action. This is going to be a 10-second action. And at the end here, I'm going to just have it be zoomed in, probably, so it's at 50% scale right now. I'm going to go 55. And I'm going to center myself and So watch now what happens. And then watch what happens at the 10-second mark. Actually, let me go back here. There we go. Okay, so watch this. Slow zoom in. And then when I make a cut now, that becomes a pattern interrupt. The actual coming back to the main frame becomes the next pattern interrupt. So this is a great, easy way to, if you are recording in a way like I've taught you, which is to hit record and just keep it going the whole time, right? You just keep it going the whole time. Excuse me. And then when you edit, you take out the mistakes. The problem is sometimes you have like a jump cut, and it's really hard sometimes to make it. Honestly, jump cuts are not bad at all. In fact, I love them because they're more engaging. Peasant, I noticed that you do the same thing. But sometimes when you jump cut, zooming in and zooming out can be cool. A slow zoom in, I learned this from Caleb, in fact, because he used to do this on my videos, and I was like, whoa, how did that like pop back to normal happen? You don't even notice that you're slow zooming in, especially if you're doing a story. If you're telling a story, a slow zoom in. A slow zoom in can be really great, and then pop back out when you start moving on to your next point. So I love that strategy, and it works really well. So anyway, Peasant, thank you so much for being on the chopping block. And look at this, you got some really great comments, especially from some of the other members here. And I just want to encourage you, keep up the good work. I promise you, it's going to take some time, but that effort to continually make your videos better, to tell better stories, to really, truly, from heart to heart, connect with the other person on the other end, it can be amazing. And you're going to start to find your audience there. There is a person who I helped on YouTube a while back who is who's deaf, but he creates videos still. So he's sort of hard to hear and understand a little bit, but he's just staying consistent. And when we started working together, he had like 13 subscribers. And then now, a year and a half later, I found him recently. He has like 548 subscribers, and he's just been really getting more and more momentum and continually connecting with his audience. And he has some super fans now. So again, just keep up that good work. And thank you again so much. Grandma Goody says, watch for the slow zoom coming to Grandma Goody stories near you. Martin says, gotta fly, have a client from LA. Global reach due to Pat Flynn. Yes, this all works. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Okay, Kim, are you in the house? Kim, Wendy, you had mentioned that you had a website that you wanted to review. If you happen to still be in the room, pop in your URL in the chat. Spell out the word dot instead of putting the dot in there, because that way YouTube doesn't snatch it from me. So Kim, if you are still here, I'd love to go to your website next. But great job, Peasant. That was really helpful. We talked about a lot of even more advanced things that we don't often talk about. So really stoked about that. Cool. All right. So what time is tomorrow? Tomorrow is 8 a.m. Pacific. So we're going to go from 8 to 10. So 8 to 10 in the morning, which would be really fun. So a couple hours. I know it's, a lot of people might be at church, but a couple hours, perhaps we can at least get you in there for a little bit. All right. Hold on. Passionate horsemanship. All right, let's check it out. This is Kim. Let me know if this is I think this is the right website, right? Passionate horsemanship. I love the logo, by the way. I'm trying to zoom in because I want to see it a little bit more. Obviously, I think this is a couple dogs as well as a horse, or maybe just horses of all sizes, perhaps, in the shape of a heart. I think that's beautiful. I love the two colors working together. Trail obstacle training, the fun way to build confidence, trust, partnership. Join the Facebook group. So this is sort of your first call to action. It's interesting. I just noticed that is the whole button clickable? Yeah, it is. It is clickable. Okay, that's good. Virtual or in-person training. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to get a quick understanding of what's here. All right. Oh, that is a dog, it looks like. Cool. So It's a dog, donkey, and a horse. Thank you, Kim. So, trail obstacle training, the fun way to build confidence, trust, and partnership. I think we're maybe 50% there in terms of what you could say to really make a connection for the person who's here. Now, obviously, the person who's here would know that this is about horses, so thankfully we are in understanding of that. But a little bit more information about, so trail obstacle training, the fun way to build confidence, trust, partnership. Maybe go one step further between you and your horse, or for you as a equestrian, or just, again, one more thing to connect to me, to know, oh, I'm an equestrian, I should go here, or oh, I have a horse, this is the thing for me. Again, it should be obvious, but for many, when they read it and they see it, it becomes that much more of a connection. So I would say maybe you're 80%, 90% there. In fact, we just need to add a little bit more. It's interesting how you have the different fonts here. There's the trail obstacle training, but then you have the thicker font here, more bold, but then you have the italic one here, the fun way to build. I would make this a full sentence. I wouldn't change it up in terms of font. I wouldn't change it up in terms of ... I wouldn't add these things in the middle. I would just go sentence. How would you say this, right? I would say the fun way to build confidence, trust, and a partnership between you and your horse, period, right? I think that would stop me from breaking it up, because the way I'm reading it now is the fun way to build confidence, trust, partnership. And that's kind of how it flows in my head when I'm reading it. So just make that a sentence, and I think that could work out really well. Let's see. The picture it's a great picture, by the way. There's just action front and center. This is great. It feels faded to me, right? It almost takes away from how dynamic the photo, in fact, actually is with how faded it is. But I know, obviously, if you were to bring the colors back in, it may obstruct some of the text. So maybe that's why it's faded a little bit. But I think it works. Just, I would love the colors to pop a little bit. Or what if you were able to keep the grass faded, but have the horse and the obstacles pop? That would be a really interesting take on it. Again, I don't know if that'll work or not. It may not, but just something to focus on then now, the horse and the obstacle, and sort of gray out the areas around it. A horse is a horse, of course, unless the horse is a the famous Mr. Egg. I remember watching that when I was a kid, in fact. Okay, so the first thing you want, like, the other thing that I'm always looking for on these websites is, okay, well, where do you want me to go first? And it looks like, again, with how beautiful this is and laid out, the number one thing we need people to do should be front and center. And if, in fact, the number one thing you want people to do is join the Facebook group, well, then you're doing a good job of it. In fact, you're making it very clear. It's up here on the upper right-hand corner and here below. If this is indeed the first thing you want people to do, then great. So I'm going to click on this and see what happens. Okay, 97 members, equestrians who love trail obstacles. Join this group. Beginners and amateurs who are interested in trail obstacles, whether you want to compete or just have fun. Trail obstacles are great for horses, donkeys, mules, miniature horses, and miniature donkeys. It's a safe place for you to ask advice. Cool. So it's interesting because to me, it's a lot more clear here in the About This group here on this Facebook group versus here. The fun way to build confidence, trust, partnership. I think because you are forced to show more text and you don't have as much room for creativity on a Facebook page, you are telling me a little bit more clearly who's this for. The fact that you mentioned all those different animals and, for amateurs or professionals, that to me could do justice by bringing itself up a little bit more. Okay. The other thing I would say is make sure that when you click to join the Facebook group, it opens on a new channel or opens in a new on a new tab. Because right now, if I were to go here, I lose the page that I was on, and if I'm not interested in this group, I'm just going to be distracted by Facebook, and I'm going to go to Facebook. Right? I'm not signed up on Facebook right now, logged in on this computer, but it would be very simple to get distracted when I go on Facebook. So we want to make sure that any links to things outside of our website open on a new tab. That way people are still on our tab, if that makes sense. Okay, scrolling down, virtual or in-person training. I like that. It answers a very, very clear question. Oh, well, how do I do this during COVID? Okay, you've answered that question here, and I think that's great. Is your horse pushy? Is trailer loading frustrating? Are you discouraged because your horse isn't listening to you? Have you thought about giving up and selling your horse? This is a great way to connect with your audience, asking questions. The only thing I'm worried about, and I'm not in this space, Kim, so I don't know, but if I don't say yes to any one of these questions, I'm out, right? So hopefully these are things that at least we can get one yes from somebody. So we got to be careful when we ask questions like this. It's a very great strategy because if you can nail the questions and what's going through a person's mind, then perfect. Because they're like, yeah, that's me. Okay, I'm in really quickly. But if we ask questions and you're not covering all the bases, are you covering all the bases? That's just something we need to make sure we're doing. Questions are great, but if you're not getting somebody to say yes in some way, shape, or form here, they're out. So we got to be careful about that. It doesn't have to be this way. I would worry about the blue here because you had a blue button here. You're almost training your audience to go, oh, blue is a button. Okay. And then I come down here, and this to me, I wanted to click on this. It actually is shaped in that way. So I would say that we can remove the border on that and not confuse your audience in that way. Trail obstacle training will help you and your horse become motivated, confident, and playful again. Let's get you and your horse on a path to success. I would love to see a testimonial right around here, right? And so this is where the blue border should be, right around. It should look like that, right? But blue, because that's the action color for your brand here. And I love that. I love when brands have like, oh, this is the color of action on our websites, right? Find out more. I would love to see if you could like have this sort of be 2 columns, or at least maybe even right here. This is where a testimonial could go. Putting testimonials right next to where the action button is a very smart move, because people are thinking, oh, is that something I should click on? And then they see that testimonial. Oh, well, they did it too. Well, let me click. So I see that you have a testimonial down here. Susan, Kim has a keen observation of each animal to assess what they need as far as where they begin their training and life skills work. I like her holistic approach. Oh, you have a bunch of them. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would pull at least your best one right up here, if that makes sense. And I would also, if possible, with these testimonials, this page is very text heavy, I will say. Even though there's a giant image up here, that's great. Down here, I don't know if this is doing you justice. I see where you're going with this, but if I'm here, this is the only thing I'm seeing. The obstacles don't have to be fancy to get results. That answers an objection, right? But this is taking up a lot of space. So I would put a testimonial over here. So just maybe move the testimonial section up. However, when it comes to things like training horses, I would love to see a picture of the person whose horse you trained, and maybe even a picture of them and their horse together. People default to doubt online. So we have to be very, very clear with the action that we want people to take and the transformation that we're offering them are testimonials. That's the job. That's what the job is of a testimonial. But if we can show how the testimonial relates to the person even more, an image, so it seems real, and it should be real, obviously, a picture of the person, but a picture of the person doing the thing that you're teaching others to do is even better. So if you have a picture of Susan here from Pleasant Hill Ranch, or Susan from MT from Montana, or Leslie from Arizona, and maybe them on the trail with their horses, that could work out really well too. So I want to click on find out more here because I want to learn more about. So see, it's like something like this would be amazing. Like I love this image here. This image is exactly what we're talking about. That makes me go, oh yeah, I could do that too, right? Why obstacle training? Trail obstacle training builds confidence in you and your horse, helping you improve your communication skills while increasing emotional and mental fitness. Working through the obstacles will result in huge benefits to you and your horse. You'll be able to... All right, so I'm not so keen on like all the different font sizes. You have a light size font here, but then this one is much bigger. This is now smaller but bold, and then now even smaller but bulleted. I think that we need a little bit of organization in terms of the font and how the text is displayed. Again, love this image here. Love that you're talking about the transformation. You'll be able to. That's a very, very, very big part to sort of stand out. If you could have it similar to what you have like here, you'll be able to 1, this, 2, this, 3, this. That could work really great for this section here, because that's a part. This I would skip over because it's so small. It's almost you're telling me this is the least important thing, even though it is the most important thing because of how small the font is, if that makes sense. Improves your relationship, etc. Okay, so I'm here on this page. You've gotten me interested in trail obstacle training. Where do I go from here? We need every page to take somebody somewhere else. So how might you then, now that you've gotten me excited, where can I go next? So that's and remember, this is your money path here, right? So find out more. Great, I'm excited. Okay, cool. I'm getting into this, and all right, a person gets to the end of the page here. We cannot expect them to know exactly where to go. This is where we would potentially have them go to the services page. Click here to work with me so that I can help you XYZ, right? Or click here to read the blog to get some more information before you make your decision. Something like that, right? So a couple call to actions down there. So that's really important. Let's go to services. Passionate Horsemanship offers an assortment. I would just say, we offer, or I can help you with an assortment of training. We don't have to mention our company name again. It's here, right? It almost seems too disconnected. I want you to be more connected, right? Feel free to contact me. See, it's interesting because you're like, Passionate Horsemanship offers. It sounds like a big company. Feel free to contact me. So either put contact us if you want to stay in that tone. I would much rather you say, I can help you with an assortment of training opportunities. Also, I think that especially with pages like this, how would you talk to somebody, right? Almost the way you've written it here sounds very, very professional, right? And if that's the approach you're taking, that's fine. But I think if you want to be Kim and connect, how might you, Kim, mention this if you're sitting down with somebody at a party and they're just like, oh my gosh, you have you teach people horse stuff? I have a horse. What can you teach me? Would you say, Passionate Horsemanship offers an assortment of training opportunities for you? Now it sounds like a pitch, right? Versus if you were to say something like, I can help you in several different ways. If you'd like to talk more, let me know, but here are some of the things that we can do for you, or that I can do for you, or that I can help you with, right? It just sounds a little bit more like you're building a relationship with somebody, right? If that makes sense. Private or group programs, video coaching. I would have your first two that you actually can click, like these two. Again, blue for action, right? I like that. Clinic and workshops, holistic consultations. I would have a little bit more explanation of each of these because I don't know what clinics and workshops entail. I don't know what holistic consultations entail. So I would actually remove these. If you don't have them, why are they there? It almost is sort of a letdown that go, oh yeah, I could do video lessons with you, but I'm not going to do that right now. I would remove that altogether, right? I would also expand on these a little bit and have click here to get it, right? Because I wouldn't even have, so what happens if I click on this? Clinics and workshops. See, just take all of this and pop it below clinics. Clinics and workshops. Explanation, click here to get it. Now, in this case, we are adding an additional step, right? We're adding an additional step. My corporate career was in IT. I wrote technical content. I tend to do that on my site, but we'll get better with making it more personable. Awesome. So helpful talking about the voice. Thank you, Dr. Joella. So again, I would just not even have people need to click anything. And also here, it's like, where, okay. You must pre-register in advance. Workshops below are $35 per person. Bring a friend and you pay $25. Okay, I like that deal. Because then now I want to invite my friends and such. But where do I go? You're making it hard for me to pay you. You're making it hard for me to work with you, Kim. I want to work with you. So you're having people click an additional link, and then you're having people have to figure out, like, we need to do this in a way where it's just so easy. Like a monkey could do it. A monkey could figure out. We need to design in that way. So that's the approach I want you to take when it comes to the path you want people to take to work with you. We need to make sure that when we're on that path, and I would recommend going through your website as if you were a potential customer, clicking on things in different scenarios and going, oh, if I reach the end here, I might not know where to go. And if there is any sort of inkling of, well, I'm not quite sure where to go next, we need to solve that problem, if that makes sense. Yes, I'm making it very hard. I'll get that changed. Cool, Kim. I think that's going to change you, change it a ton. There is a little bit of a hiss when I am speaking, and it's because the new setup, the new computer, most likely. We're going to get it figured out, so no worries. No worries. Hopefully it'll be fixed by tomorrow. But cool. Hey, y'all. We were only able to get to a couple, but we went pretty deep with each of them, so thank you for spending time with me today. I have to go prepare for a dentist appointment for my daughter. She's going to have her teeth pulled out, and she's actually pretty brave about it right now, which is really cool. But thank you, Kim. Thank you, Peasant Uprising. Hopefully these comments were helpful to you both, and also everybody else who's watching this. We're going to end now, and I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to have some fun from there. So great job, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and have an amazing day. I'll see some of you on Twitch later, twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly if you want to check out some family time with my kids, and we'll check on Kai, see how her mouth is feeling, and we're going to play some games, probably some Among Us, probably some Fortnite. We'll see what happens, but hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and as always, Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
I'm laughing now because Grandma Goody said, the hiss is not because he's Slytherin or Parselmouth. The truth is I am Slytherin. I found out that is my house. April can confirm that. But I'm one of the good ones. I try to keep the bad guys in check for you. That's what I do here online, and I'm always here to serve you. Anyway, peace out. Take care. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bruh.